Bless me, Father, for I've sinned. It's been too long since my last confession. I've been preoccupied of late with questions of morality. Of right and wrong. Good and evil.
We don't say his name.
Perhaps this would be easier if you tell me what you've done.
How did it happen?
You were something.
You think this is still about you?
I'm not seeking forgiveness for what I've done, Father. I'm asking forgiveness for what I'm about to do.
Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. This is going to be my breakdown of the Daredevil Netflix trailer. It's dropping April 10th. They're dropping all the episodes at once. It's based on the Frank Miller, John Romita Jr. comic, Man Without Fear. Think of it as like Arrow Season 3 on steroids. Okay, starting out, we're just going to go shot by shot. So the primary location for this is going to be Hell's Kitchen. Because of the timeline with the Marvel Cinematic Universe, this will take place probably before Avengers Age of Ultron. So this is post-Attack on New York. The comic is a little bit different. He grew up in Hell's Kitchen, went away to college, and then went to Boston. So Boston is the primary location of the comic, but in the TV series, it's all going to be in Hell's Kitchen. Part of what's going on in this trailer is explaining Daredevil for people that have never read Daredevil before, don't know that he's blind, don't know that he works as a lawyer, don't know who the other characters are. So we start out in present day in the monastery. He's giving a confessional saying, I'm not asking for forgiveness for what I've done, I'm asking forgiveness for what I'm about to do. So he's getting ready to take on the Daredevil persona. This is an origin story, so they're going to tell that. I don't know how many episodes they'll spend on it or how many flashbacks we'll see. They might just get through that in the first episode, but we do know that he's not going to put on the red Daredevil costume till the very end of the series. It's 13 episodes total, so just to give you a timeline, it's going to be about 13 episodes before we see that red costume. That's why we see him in the black costume. That came before the red Daredevil costume. He didn't even call himself Daredevil to the end of the story in The Man Without Fear, the comic book. They might play it fast and loose in the TV show with that. They changed a few characters. Elektra is a big part of the comic, but presumably she's not in season 1 of the TV show. But yes, they will be doing season 2. So this isn't a limited time thing. They're going to keep doing Daredevil seasons as long as it's successful, as long as it still makes money. The significance of the church in the Daredevil mythos is it is just something of a haven for him, where he can come clear his mind, like neutral territory. Hell's Kitchen is a lot like Starling City on Arrow. It is overrun with crime. So he, like Oliver Queen on that series, decides he wants to clean up his city. Actually, I think the Glades is a better analogy right now in Arrow Season 3. So Hell's Kitchen in Daredevil is going to be a lot like the Glades. Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin is going to be a lot like Vinnie Jones's Brick, although Vincent D'Onofrio is like 1,000 times better. I'm being a little biased, but Vincent D'Onofrio is a great actor, and Kingpin is a much better character than Brick. Fun fact, Mark Guggenheim, the showrunner on Arrow, is actually writing a Daredevil one-shot comic book that's going to be out soon. I'll be sure to mention it in a video whenever it comes out. I just think it's funny that the showrunner on a DC TV show also writes a lot of Marvel comic books. So we get a good shot at Charlie Cox as Matt Murdock. I thought it was kind of weird when I first heard he was cast. I do like his other stuff, so I'll be real interested to see how he fits into this Marvel action-based world. One of the good things is based on the past treatments of Daredevil on screen, there's nowhere to go but up. Anything they do will be better than what's come before, so I'm wildly optimistic. He's blind, as everyone probably knows, but he uses echolocation. He has like a enhanced version of echolocation. It's not really a superpower, but it's the next best thing, so we're just seeing in his perspective now. This is what it'll look like, at least in the light of day. That's why he uses the cane and the Eskrima sticks, so when he bangs on stuff, it helps him with echolocation. It helps his visual cortex map stuff out. Deborah Ann Woll is playing Karen Page. She ends up working at Matt Murdock's law firm and becomes something of a love interest for him. So she's like the love interest of the series. Based on the work that she's done before, and based on the lack of Elektra in the series, I'm wondering if they're going to give her some badass fight scenes by the end of the series. But as we can see right now, she kind of starts out on hard time, so she's probably not going to start out being a badass. This is Eldon Henson. He's playing Foggy Nelson. He's Matt Murdock's partner in the comics, his partner in his law firm. He's not really a Diggle type character, he's not a fighter, but he does try to help Matt Murdock. The Daredevil stuff gets a little more complicated. I don't want to like full on spoil that if you haven't read the comic yet, but they do end up in something of a love triangle with Karen Page. It wouldn't be a drama without a love triangle. The first time I saw this, I thought it was a flashback for Matt Murdock. His father got killed by the mob for not throwing a fight. But it looks more like Karen Page's origin story. Someone close to her ends up getting murdered, so she seeks out Matt Murdock's legal help, but because of the nature of the crime, she ends up crossing paths with Daredevil, just because of the mob presence in Hell's Kitchen. It's one of those situations where the mob commits crimes, the people come to Matt Murdock for legal help and persecuting them, and then Daredevil ends up cleaning the mess up at night. This is Scott Glenn, who's playing Stick. He's the one who trains Matt Murdock to fight. He's also blind. He's the one that trains him to like run across the rooftops and be a badass. This over here is Hachiro. They haven't really explained his character. He is not in the comic book, but because they presumably are leaving Elektra out for a future season, they might be adding him in an Elektra type role, but he does look kind of sinister. Elektra's kind of a sinister character herself in the comics, at least for a little while. Here is Vincent D'Onofrio as the Kingpin. The interesting thing about this series is that as much as it's an origin story for Daredevil, it's also going to be an origin story for Kingpin. They're actually going to spend a lot of time telling his story. I think that's why Vincent D'Onofrio was so attracted to doing a character like this. The owner of this place is his love interest, the owner of the art gallery. She ends up dying really horribly, and it serves as a big call to action for him. I think I was just talking about narrative symmetry in my Flash episode video from last night. So you're going to see the rise of Daredevil, you'll see the rise of Kingpin too. It makes me really excited for season 2. This is Rosario Dawson, she's playing Claire Temple. I know a lot of people thought she might be playing Elektra. Claire Temple is just a nurse who works at night and helps Matt Murdock, helps patch him up. This here, just based on the way that they've cut this into the trailer, looks like it might be his first night wearing the mask. Very much a Batman Year 1 situation. And here we just get a really awesome fight sequence. So he's going to be parkouring the shit out of everyone. We see the Eskrima sticks. Like I said, he needs to bang on stuff. He needs to create noise to use his echolocation abilities. Because of the budget they're working with, I would think of this as like a souped up version of the stunts on Arrow. Arrow has some of the best stunts of any of the superhero TV shows, but it has a really small budget. Because Marvel went to Netflix with this, and because Marvel's Disney, they have unlimited money, they have some extra juice to throw at it. So just remember, this is going to be 13 episodes. They're going to dump them all on April 10th. I have no idea how I'm going to do videos for all of them. I might do one video per episode just because they're going to be hour-long episodes. Usually it's a little easier for me to organize stuff whenever I do things one at a time. However it's going to happen, I'll be doing videos for the entire series. They're going to be making more announcements about it when it gets a little bit closer, but this will be like their lead-in into Avengers 2 along with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So I think what they're hoping is that you finish this series before Avengers 2 starts. I'm really excited about it. If you're not familiar, the showrunner is Steven DeKnight. He worked on Spartacus, Blood and Sand. The funny thing about that is that Arrow and the Flash steal a lot of actors from Spartacus, or actors that were on Spartacus. So there's a lot of like Marvel DC meta crossover going on here in the showrunning universe between Vancouver and Los Angeles. Doesn't that make you wonder if we're ever going to see Manu Bennett like Slade Wilson on Daredevil at some point? I don't think that's going to happen, but it's funny to think about. For those that are asking, I'm going to try to post my Agent Carter episode 5 video, my Howling Commandos video, before Arrow starts tonight. If I don't get it out in time, I'll just push it out Thursday morning. So don't worry, I am working on an Agent Carter episode 5 video. So if you guys haven't read that comic book and you want to, you can actually get Marvel Unlimited. It's like $99 a year. You can read almost every comic that Marvel's ever published, but I might also give away a couple copies of the comic whenever we get closer to the series. So be sure to subscribe to get all that stuff. Don't forget, Arrow tonight, it's actually a good template for what the stunts are going to look like on Daredevil. If you do want to learn more about the comic book, you can click here for my breakdown of the Man Without Fear storyline, and you can click here to get ready for Arrow tonight. Thank you so much for watching. So let's all high five. I'll see you guys in a little bit.